Marty could not be outdone, reciting his various character disorders. If you're worried about your own, just pull up a chair, because he'd tell you about his. And he claimed to be afflicted with tobacco abuse, of course, anxiety, depression, mania, obsessive-compulsive disease, generalized weakness, a variety of other addictions and afflictions, not to mention his physical failures and disabilities. And he was willing to talk about them all with anybody at any time. And you felt pretty darn healthy. Marty loved children, and I knew it, but I was very surprised at the number of children who said they had showered with him. And I should have known that was true, because I never bathed an infant or a toddler. And my kids were reasonably clean, so that's what happened. He realized that there were changing mores and social and cultural changes now, because a couple of years ago he said, you know, I've got to get these kids out of the bathroom or I'm going to be arrested. He was fearless when he should have been cautious. He could take hundreds of photos at 3 different MVL high schools in one night, hundreds and hundreds, have them developed and framed and delivered in 48 hours. He built hundreds of feet of dry stacked stone walls using homemade pulleys and levers that he got the directions from a 1930s physics book, which he purchased for that reason. Some members of the ZCC could no longer tolerate his exuberance, and he was expelled, but he persisted till he was reinstated. Public disclosure was part of his core. Indiscretion abounded, and you could not stifle any enthusiasm that he had, no matter how hard you tried. People ask me if he wrote his own obituary, and I will say, yes, he did. We didn't use it because it was 50 pages long. When Marty was 55, Marty decided to merge his practice with Larry Towning's, and he was firm on it. That was good. He thought it would be lovely. He loved Larry. He loved the idea, and that was what was going to happen. I worried because Larry was everything Marty wasn't. He had discretion. He looked more than presentable. His manners and decorum were impeccable and exemplary. How could this work? And it did. There were 10 years of an unlikely partnership filled with the polemics of opposites, which Martin functioned in so well. It was in that way a match made in heaven. Marty's the love of my life. He would also want me to say he was my biggest challenge, because he did believe in full disclosure. And we all loved him. And rest in peace, Marty.